Welcome to Kentucky. Welcome to the Bourbon Lore Heaven Hill Champion Experience. The time has finally arrived. We've been working on this experience for months. The team and I couldn't be more excited. The Heaven Hill team has rallied around this opportunity to come together, create the world's first Bourbon Lore Champion Experience here in Kentucky with one of the most iconic distilleries, the Heaven Hill family. So get ready for what is going to be an incredible adventure and one of the most amazing 2 days ever spent in Kentucky.
We are at day one of the Bourbon Lore Heaven Hill experience at the Myriad Hotel. Beautiful boutique hotel. It's the oldest disco ball factory in America. There's a ton of charm here, and our guests are just starting to trickle in. We're having a little warm-up recession, a little welcome cocktail. People are getting to know each other, but little do they know that they are in for the true one-of-one, amazing, never been done before experience with Heaven Hill. I could not be more proud to be with one of my personal favorite distilleries in the world to do something of this level.
The Heaven Hill team, the Evan Williams team, they came together and we created a private experience that was extraordinary. And it was like, I remember some of the guests shared that this was like the Disneyland of American whiskey. And so we had these unique one-of-one different activations. We had some incredible old vintage pours. We had an amazing private dinner experience. Bernie and his Bottled and Bond boys put on a concert that was absolutely extraordinary. Connor O'Driscoll, the Master Distiller for Heaven Hill, joined them throughout the evening, walking our guests through the lore of Heaven Hill, walking our guests through the heritage and history of American whiskey, all while bringing music and sipping on some of the best product you can imagine for an experience that I know we'll never forget.
Bourbon Lore!
And Bourbon Lore.
My first Bourbon Lore experience has been princess treatment all the way so far. We were greeted with a beautiful bottle of Old Fitzgerald DBS 13 year, released this year. They've been tanked for years before they finally put it in a bottle.
One of a kind opportunity. I've never done anything like this, and I'm really excited to be here.
Celebrating with whiskey lovers from all over the world tonight is absolutely amazing. We have multiple countries represented. We are drinking some of the best bottles I've ever had in my life, so this is pretty cool.
We are here at the one and only legendary Old Bernheim Distillery. Some of the greatest whiskey to ever come out of the state of Kentucky came out of these rick houses right here behind me. We knew that if we were gonna have this unique one-of-one incredible experience with Heaven Hill, it had to start here at the birthplace of some of the greatest legendary bottles ever released from Kentucky.
Heaven Hill's Bernheim Distillery is the world's largest single-site bourbon distillery. Every day, we mill, mash, and ferment over 1.1 million pounds of grain and convert that into over 1,500 barrels of whiskey every single day. It's important to note that we don't make brands of whiskey here, we make styles of whiskey. We make 6 different styles of American whiskey: bourbon with rye, bourbon with wheat, rye whiskey, wheat whiskey, corn whiskey, and recently we've been mashing an American single malt. Through the magic of maturation, we have over 2.1 million barrels aging in our 70-something different warehouses. And as those styles of whiskeys age, that's when they become different brands. And we have Evan Williams, Elijah Craig, Henry McKenna, Heaven Hill 7-year-old, Larceny, Rittenhouse Rye, Pikesville Rye, Mellow Corn whiskey. I could go on and on. But we've got this great portfolio of just wonderful, wonderful American whiskeys.
Here at Old Bernheim, they've identified some of the rarest barrels that have been laying around here for decades. So our team is incredibly excited to bring our guests to experience Old Bernheim here with Connor and Bernie in Louisville.
Cheers.
So far, my expectations have been completely blown away. The whiskey nerd in me has been looking forward to visiting the Bernheim facility ever since I realized I was going to be a part of this experience. Being able to literally step foot in the facilities where some of the most iconic American whiskeys of all time have been created is an experience I'll never forget.
Someday, years from now, people are going to tell these stories about Bourbon Lore. They are expanding the knowledge, taking that next step, taking that next jump into what's next for bourbon.
As founder of Bourbon Lore, this has not just been simply an opportunity to go out there and start a new brand or to build a business. I've shared from day one, this is for me, it's for my love of history and heritage and legacy. It's my love of folklore and the story associated that enriches these unique one-of-one special expressions and these incredible distilleries. And it's my love of community, right? And so when we think about those three things, the heritage, legacy, the folklore, and the community associated with American whiskey that's so incredibly beautiful, I couldn't think of a better opportunity and moment to begin what we are doing here today in Kentucky with Heaven Hill.
It seems like they just keep one-upping themselves. You know, the 25-year Rittenhouse rye that I just drank, probably right up there. The history and just the time capsule that we're enjoying, it can't be found anywhere else. My expectations could not have been blown out of the water more.
Everybody here has, if they didn't know each other already, they have turned into best friends. We have created relationships, friendships, memories, legacies to last a lifetime. This has been, to me, what Bourbon Lore is all about. This weekend, out of the park.
I'd love to share with the Heaven Hill family that this has been an incredible honor. And when we thought about being able to come to Kentucky, there is a distillery that represents both the heritage, the legacy, the folklore, and the continued commitment to community in one of the most extraordinary ways, and that's Heaven Hill. And when you think about what that family has represented with the Shapiros, to the investment that they have made in this beautiful state of Kentucky, to the expressions that they continue to ensure that their craft and their level of investment to bringing something absolutely remarkable to market has never faltered, and that's the Heaven Hill family. So on behalf of the Bourbon Lore family, Heaven Hill, thank you for all you represent. Thank you for continuing to invest in this beautiful spirit, and thank you for providing us this opportunity to write a chapter of lore, to write a chapter of history in the story and journey of American whiskey with you.